How is up, everyone? It's your boy, Boo Boo Boo, here today without any anime face fluff because that takes years to render, and by then I'll be busy doing my nightly Genshin Impact game time. Anyway, today we're going to review our pal Legendary Dimitri. He is someone that I had high hopes for as a blue ultimate magic bike. Well, unfortunately, he isn't it either. So, for a long time, I had used Feng to great effect. But there was a serious issue with her. And I'm sure some of you know already, she's a legendary hero. So while she does get extreme power-ups on rotations and can get blessings occasionally in Aether raids, it's the same thing with Legendary Dimitri. I can't use him on demand, and that sucks balls. That's the whole reason I had to hold out for a blue bike, and well, Dimitri decides that he's going to fail that as well. Well, CYL one could work, but well, I wasn't going to summon on that. Anyway, it doesn't really matter all that much, because when it comes down to it, I think having two different colored bikes is quite more than enough. And red is very saturated. I mean, now that Flame is a thing, Legendary Dimitri has lost a whole lot of viability for me because, I could just stack anyone with her. And I'll get plenty of damage reduction. I can call it a day. Even just 2 is like 50-something%. So, what I really need now are unique effects. Now, although Dimitri isn't exactly lacking with unique effects, what with that damage reduction built into his Aryan bar and practically free 5 to all stats and slaying, it makes his rather low resistance score a non-issue. Because you can just kind of slap on a speed res solo on top of this to reach a decent amount, like 29. Though if you're going to use him as Omni Tank, you probably want to plus 10 him. That's another thing altogether. Anyway, so in my opinion, the things that Aether Raids needs the most is firstly, damage reduction. Then, no follow-up. Then, a technique that can seal enemy skills, rather to stop them from using a skill with guard, or remove a pre-stack skill. So, someone like Xian wouldn't be a problem. And finally, a means to stop enemy who can ignore counterattacks. If you can do all this, then neither the aforementioned Xian Hitler or Brahmiman, or even a 6 Paths of Pain Plus will be an issue to you. At all. And in that effect, God Emperor Beelan has had covered in spades. He's going to be my strongest hero for quite some time. Okay, so Legendary Dimitri. Now, he can fill 2 of these requirements, so that's not a problem. But that would also mean that he have to give up his atrocity in favor of no follow-up. That's quite a bit of a loss, because Atrocity is a fun and exciting skill. I mean, having Omni Smoke and Pulse Smoke, and what passes for Send Scale in his B slot. I mean, it's not as exactly as good as Send Scale, because that extra 25% doesn't appear to be true damage. It's more like Glimmer, though that doesn't really all that much, since he probably hits so hard that it might just as well be true damage. On the other hand, now that we're in the damage reduction era, nay, even before then, one hit just doesn't cut it anymore because of how inflated everyone's stats are becoming. So in my opinion, stuffing an A skill like Send Scale and 2 C skills like the Pole Smoke and Omni Smoke and all that nonsense into your B slot just doesn't make up for an actual solid B slot. And I'm not even sure why he does that, mixing all those skills into that spot. It looks like mental illness to me. So in this, I think CYL Dimitri surpasses him, because not only does he gain extra charges for his weapon, he has distant counter built in, so he can use whatever A slot that he wants. He also has that Blue Lion rule for damage reduction, pseudo no follow-up, not to mention he can just reliably get whatever blessing he wants. Whatever he wants! So what this tells me is that Legendary Dimitri actually favors a more mixed phase setup. He's more built for that, since he comes up with that odd Tempest C slot. Odd something Tempest. But anyway, since, well, he doesn't need C slots anymore because Atrocity has that covered in spades. I mean, what does it even matter for a player face unit if he can't double, though, if man secure the kill? So, I mean, yeah, he can move 3 spaces occasionally, but it really is a waste. He might as well just give himself, like, Pole Smoke or something like that and run an actual B slot. The things that negate doubles are, right now, a dime a dozen. And not being able to negate that will severely hold Dimitri back. I think the man tries to go too many directions at once and ends up just kind of sitting in one spot. Compared to the devastating power of Raging Storm that legendary Edelgard has, Atrocity is quite frankly an atrocity. Well, I suppose, I mean, that's only for Aether Raid's offense. For any other content, I don't think it's that bad at all. I mean, slap a Gale Force in the man, he can easily wreak havoc on the enemy team. But, see, offensive Aether Raids has this crappy thing where you're kind of stuck everywhere because of all these stupid buildings that people put around all over the place, and, you know, having to also take down 6 opponents. This taking down 6 opponent nonsense will just get them bogged down and painfully killed, like what happens if you were to play on any other route besides Azure Moon. However, I think on Aether Raid's defense, though, or, well, just about any other mode, because they don't specialize in stupid PvP skills, if the stars align and you get blessings on top of this nonsense, then, well, this setup would actually make some sense, provided that the opposing players and, you know, ready for it with their Omni Tank, PvP skills like that, or, you know, negate follow-ups, or yada yada yada. The AI, in my opinion, tends to be rather brutal with their Gale Force, and having a rather random odd Tempest would just really screw with you. Even if they were to take Dimitri down, the damage is already done. So I say, I certainly wouldn't underestimate Legendary Dimitri, but I wouldn't be too worried about Dimitri either. Now, one last note about Odd Tempest, though we'll probably find out later tonight. I highly doubt range units will get it, but if they do, then, well, it's truly the end times. I'm sure you know the reason why, but, well, say if we were to get another taste of Raging Storm for an infantry unit, though, well, that could be interesting. And also a new brand of end times. Overall, I am honestly kind of disappointed in Legendary Dimitri, since both aesthetically and functionally there's already CYL Dimitri, who is uninspired in the first place, but that's a whole topic I already covered. I know for myself I want the kill every last one of them Dimitri, and I don't even want to cure him of his brain damage in Azure Moon because he's at his best when he is ill. I don't want a normal hero. That's the whole reason why he's popular in the first place, because he's homeless looking, and he's ill, wears an eye patch, and all that. Anyway, as for the banner itself, well, blue is pretty cruel. With Dimitri, with Crom, and no follow-up father for Dimitri. We've got a pretty stacked green with Dimitri's girlfriend Edelgard, a Thrashir, a Demon King Leon. And then there's red and colorless, or the, you know, the extra hit in the Hydra, and it's like an ever reminder that we need to update our old legendaries. Especially Flying Lobster. Oh yeah, that guy is just no good. Anyway, that's pretty much all there is to it. I thank you all for watching. Until next time.